Yeah, I'm Kung Lee. I met on the fight circuit, and at the time, he was I was the top Sancho guy, and then he had just come into it, and we were in different weight classes, and but we were friends, and he had a successful team out in San Jose, and our teams were kind of competing, East Coast, West Coast sort of thing, and we were friends, and we had some mutual friends that were filmmakers and stuff, and that's when that little film Sleight of Hand came up, and as far as our bout, that was something that was put together. The promoters offered, they wanted to see the best guys in the sport fight, and I was in a different weight class at the time, so I decided to, hey, all right, well, I'll fight Kung Lee if you guys are putting up the money, and so I put on weight and went up in class to fight him for a fight. But now right now he's a legendary fighter. Yeah, Dark Assassin was my little baby that I basically, shot in my hometown in Boston and used all my resources, owning a gym there. I met thousands of people and, knew all kinds of people to get locations and help and, people to come on. It was pretty much a real homegrown film. It was shot on an extremely low budget, but we had to shoot on Super 16 film because in that time there was still no
Yeah, that's what I was
quality
gonna ask what you
mediums.
shot on. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so I spent some time, writing the script and, you know, did everything. It was ridiculous. Wrote, directed it, and then my mom helped do the food for the crew, and it was really a homegrown production. It was one of those things that was shot in pieces as well, and I ran out of money, and then the negatives sat in my car and in my refrigerator. I didn't even develop them yet. So for months, and then when I got the money, I went and developed the film, and it was like, oh my God, I hope something's on this. I hope all this stuff's still good. All the work that went into it. But after a couple of years, it finally came together as a little movie, and got picked up, by a distributor, and it did a pretty wide release in Blockbuster for a little film. I think it did really well for somebody. I don't know. Somebody made money on it. I didn't, but I
Walk on the set
I
is
went
a
I
role.
went to a huge cattle call for Dark Knight, and the reason why is I saw it on a posting on the union posting there on the SAG union posting, and it was on an alias called Magnus Rex, So I just punched in. What the hell is Magnus Rex? So I punched in. It was like Dark Knight Rises. I was like, oh, and I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan, so I was just like, I got to get on there. I'm gonna get on that thing. So I went there, and there was like a line going around the block to get in this thing, and so I got chosen as one of the group of mercenaries to be on the film, and that was cool. So I've been working on it, the past 2 months, and it's been great, to see the sets and just be there with Morgan Freeman and Anne Hathaway and Christopher Nolan directing in his suit. I mean, that's just amazing. So I've just wanted to be on a huge set, and I never worked on any 250 million dollar movies ever. So that was just a part of that. So actually, I've been working on a project that is deep in development and could see the light of day, and it's a Western.
Oh wow.
And you're going to see some Asian faces in a Western. And it's something that, again, it's tackling the, an iconic American genre of film, and Asians were such a huge part of developing this country that it's often not spoke about. We're seeing doing laundry in the background or hammering railroads on the side, but there's never any main influence, and there's a huge history. I've been doing research on this for this project over the past couple of years, and it's basically San Francisco, the first Chinatowns,
Yeah.
1890, racism, a lot of things that are the backdrop to similar to what's happening today. How people feel about Mexican Americans, they're taking all the jobs, and and let's send them back. And the same things were happening with the Chinese. It was like, oh, the Chinese are coming in, they're taking all the jobs, and there was conflicts between the Irish and the Chinese because we were both at the bottom of the class system, and you had the robber barons of those days, which are kind of the same thing that's going on with these days, where the economy's getting so bad, and you're having modern day robber barons and these corporations that are making us all scramble to get a nut.